Now, as some of you might know, a few years ago I released a video where I picked what I thought was the best LEGO Star Wars set every year from 1999 to I think 2022 was when I released the video, and to this day it has become one of my most popular videos on my channel, getting over 100,000 views. However, one of the most repeated things that people were saying in the comments was that I should have left out UCS sets. And you know, at the time I didn't really care. Even when I saw those comments I didn't really care, but now in hindsight I do think it was kind of unfair for me to include UCS sets, because more than half the list was just me naming each UCS set that came out that year. So now 2 years later, I'm redoing the video and I'm excluding UCS sets to make it more balanced. Also, my opinion on generally all of these sets has pretty much drastically changed since I made that video, so if you watched that video and now you're watching this video, don't be surprised if a lot of the picks are different. Anyways, with that being said, hopping right into it with the very first year of LEGO Star Wars being 1999. This one is kind of a no-brainer to most people, but I have 7171 Mos Espa Pod Race. This set has 896 pieces and originally retailed for $90 US, which with inflation adjusted, that's about $170 in today's money, I'm pretty sure, which, you know, actually does feel like it's kind of pushing it for a set like this, but still, regardless of the price, it is a very good set, especially for 1999. If you can't tell already, it's basically a recreation of the pod race with 3 pod racers, as well as a few side builds to represent the stands, and I think it's really awesome and one of the best playsets ever made, and definitely started off the first year of LEGO Star Wars with an absolute bang. Anyways, continuing on to the year 2000, there were 19 sets released this year, and I think the one playset that easily stands above the rest is 7155 Trade Federation AAT. This set has 158 pieces and retailed for only $20 US, and to this day, literally 24 years later, this is widely considered to be one of the best AATs that LEGO has ever made, and some people would probably even argue that it is the best one they've made. And while I wouldn't say it's the best, I think that title belongs to the 2009 model, I do think it's very, very good and was way ahead of its time. And unlike other sets released in 2000 or 1999 and even some of the years following, this set's age definitely does not show that much. I mean, obviously its age does show, I'm just saying it doesn't show as much compared to other sets from its era. I do think it maybe could have included an extra battle droid or two, but other than that, it's a very good set and deserves the title as the best set from 2000. Moving on to 2001, there were only 10 Star Wars sets released this year, making it the year with the least amount of sets out of every year that LEGO Star Wars has been ongoing. Although that's off topic anyways, what I think is the best playset from this year is 7166 Imperial Shuttle. This set had 238 pieces and retailed for $35 US, and I have to say, I think this set is pretty underrated or just overlooked. Not many people even know it exists, and I think for 2001, it's a very good looking model. They did a good job on the shaping and the details all over the wings, and its minifigure lineup is pretty simple. It just has Emperor Palpatine, 2 royal guards, and then a pilot, and you could say it could have included some stormtroopers, but that honestly doesn't bother me that much. It's a pretty simple set with a simple minifigure lineup, and I think that's just fine. Anyways, continuing on to 2002, there were 24 LEGO Star Wars sets released this year, and in my opinion, the best one is 7163 Republic Gunship. This set has 686 pieces and originally retailed for $90 US, and you know, there were a few other sets from 2002 that I was considering picking as the best set from the year, like Jango Fett Slave 1 or the Bounty Hunter Pursuit, which I both think could be argued for being better than this set. However, I ended up going with this gunship because of its just legendary status and it being one of the most legendary playsets ever made. It might not be as accurate as those other 2 sets that I mentioned, however that definitely does not mean it looks bad. It's a very good looking model, especially for the time, and has one of the best and most iconic minifigure lineups that we've ever seen, including 4 of the original Phase 1 clone troopers, as well as 2 of the exclusive blue metallic super battle droids, and of course the legendary Jedi Bob. And again, like I mentioned, the gunship itself is just such a great playset and looks pretty good for 2002. Moving on to 2003, there were 21 Star Wars sets released this year, and in my opinion, the best one was 4483 AT-AT. This set has 1,064 pieces and retailed for only $100, and I know a lot of you guys would probably consider the AT-TE to be the best set from 2003, and while that is a good set, it just does not compare to this AT-AT. I mean, this AT-AT right here was so far ahead of its time, I'd even say it easily fits in with the other AT-ATs from the 2010s. They got the shaping and proportions down surprisingly pretty much perfectly for 2003, and the detail on the body and the head and the legs is very nice as well, and while it does have some problems, for example like the head being pretty fragile, just talking about looks and displayability alone, it is very, very impressive for 2003. Now making our way into 2004, there were only 15 Star Wars sets released this year, and in my opinion the best one is 4504 Millennium Falcon. This set has 985 pieces and retailed for only $100, and this was the first LEGO Millennium Falcon to have the the modern design that we still see today, where it has the panels all around in a circle that you can lift up to access the interior. And when you compare it to the first model that came out just 4 years prior in 2000, it's really impressive how far they were able to jump with quality and accuracy in such a short amount of time with this set. And also, not to mention, it's the only Millennium Falcon LEGO has made that's strictly based off of episode 5 on Hoth, which I think is cool and pretty unique, so it kind of gets some brownie points from me. And now making our way into 2005, which is one of the most beloved and fan-favorited years of LEGO Star Wars, and in my opinion, the best set from this year. This one's probably gonna surprise some people, but I have 7259 ARC 170 Fighter. This set has 396 pieces and retailed for $40 US. And yeah, I know most people would probably pick the Turbo Tank as the best set from 2005, and I'm not gonna argue with that. I can definitely see why that would be considered to be the best set from the year. However, I'm going with the ARC 170 just because I think it's more accurate to its source material than the Turbo Tank is, because I mean, come on, for 2005, this set was really good. I mean, the ARC 170 is just a really awesome looking starfighter in general, and for 2005, LEGO just did a great job. I'd say that its age doesn't even show that much today in 2024. And also, the icing on the cake for me is that it actually includes 3 pilots, enough to fill all 3 seats, which is definitely one thing that I think it has over the 2010 model, because the 2010 model only includes 2 pilots and Kit Fisto. Making our way into 2006, there were only 14 Star Wars sets released this year, and in my opinion, the best one is easily 6210 Jabba's Sail Barge. This set has 781 pieces and retailed for only $75 back in 2006. And let me tell you, $75 for this set was such an insane deal. Not only do you get the Sail Barge along with all of the respective minifigures, Boba Fett, Jabba the Hutt, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, Lando, a Gamorrean guard, literally everything, you also get a desert skiff and the Sarlacc pit for only $75, which in my eyes makes this set way better than the 2013 Sail Barge. I mean, that model just doesn't feel as complete as this one does, because in this you can literally perfectly recreate the scene all in one set. You don't have to buy the Sail Barge and then buy a desert skiff separately, it's all in one place, which I really like. And not to mention, for 2006, they did a really good job with all of the builds in this set. Moving on to 2007, I think this one is kind of a no-brainer. I have 7662 Trade Federation MTT. This set has 1,330 pieces and retailed for only $100 back in the day. And I mean, there's not really a whole lot to go over here. As you guys know, this is widely considered to be one of the best sets ever made, and without a doubt, the best Trade Federation set ever made. It's really the gold standard of MTTs and one of the gold standards of ultimate LEGO Star Wars playsets, and I think for 2007, LEGO really just did an incredible job. Anyways, moving on to 2008, I have, of course, 7676 Republic Attack Gunship. This set had 1,034 pieces and retailed for $120, and I definitely wouldn't say this set is quite as timeless as the MTT is. However, it's still really good and another fan favorite. The build is such a significant upgrade from the 2002 model, and actually has proper shaping and proper proportions and looks very detailed. However, my only problem with it is that it only includes 1 pilot. Actually, in fact, it doesn't even include any pilots. It just includes a normal Phase 1 clone trooper that's supposed to act as the pilot. I mean, if they weren't going to include 2 pilots, the least they could have done was include 2 Phase 1 clone troopers to fit both the seats, but they didn't, and it's disappointing. However, that's really the only thing that gripes me about this set. Other than that, it's definitely a classic. And speaking of classics, moving on to 2009, this is widely considered to be one of the best years of LEGO Star Wars, and the pick for this year is kind of a no-brainer as well, being 10195 Republic Dropship with ATOT. This set has 1,758 pieces and retailed for $250, making it the biggest playset LEGO has ever made. Now, I say playset because this set isn't categorized as a UCS set, even though it actually has the UCS number starting with 101, but for some reason LEGO never called it a full-on UCS set. They kind of just made it a giant playset, which is why it made this list. But anyways, as you guys know, it's just one of the most legendary sets of all time. You literally get 2 full-scale vehicles in one set. I do have to say, I don't think the ATOT is as high quality and as sort of timeless as the dropship is. It was great for the time, however, I don't think it holds up today in 2024, although the dropship, on the other hand, was way ahead of its time in 2009, and I think it definitely holds up today in 2024. In my eyes, the dropship is really the highlight of this set, and the ATOT is just kind of a tag-along, but no matter how you feel about this set, there's no denying that it's one of the best ever made. Moving on to 2010, I have 8088 ARC 170 Starfighter. This set has 396 pieces and originally retailed for $60 US, and as you guys know, this is one of the most fan-favorited and recently has become one of the most legendary LEGO Star Wars sets ever made, just because it's an ARC 170. It's a really awesome ship, and we've only had 2 models of it made. The first one was in 2005, which I already talked about, and the second one being in 2010, and the fact that I chose both ARC 170s as the best set from their respective years really shows you that these are really good sets. And personally, this model is way better than the 2005 version. However, like I mentioned earlier, the 2005 model includes 3 pilots, when this one only includes 2 because the third one is replaced with Kit Fisto for some reason, which I honestly don't really like. I mean, Kit Fisto could have been in another set, and he really had no reason being in this, and if they really wanted to include him in this set, they could have just gone ahead and thrown in the extra pilot as well. I mean, it is a $60 set. I don't think 5 minifigures would have hurt them that much. However, they didn't, and you just have to either leave one seat empty on this set or put Kit Fisto in it, which is kind of weird. But I mean, other than that, the actual model itself is very good, and fingers crossed that we'll get one next year for the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. Next up, we have 2011, and I'm going with 7962, Anakin Skywalker and Sebulba's Pod Racers. This set has 810 pieces and retailed for $90 US. And I mean, this set is just incredible, and honestly, still even after the 25th anniversary of The Phantom Menace, does not get enough recognition. So many people look over this set, and I honestly don't know why, because in my eyes, both of the Pod Racers are absolutely perfect and would easily, without a doubt, hold up today in 2024. And also, not to mention, it's the only modern version of Sebulba's Pod Racer that we've ever gotten. And again, I mean, I don't know how many times I have to say it, but they just did a really good job. This is without a doubt a timeless set, and in my eyes, the best set from 2011. Making our way into 2012, there were a lot of very good playsets released this year. However, I ended up going with 9500 Sith Fury Class Interceptor. This set has 748 pieces and retailed for $90 US. Now, $90 US back in 2012 for this set was a bit overpriced, but I mean, looking past that, I think this set is just really cool. I absolutely love the design of the ship. I think it looks very mean and aggressive, and I really like that. And not to mention, it includes Darth Malgus, which is one of the coolest minifigures that has ever been made. Moving on to 2013, this one is yet another no-brainer, being 75021 Republic Gunship. This set has 1,175 pieces and retailed for $120. And to me and many other people, this really is the gold standard of what gunships are supposed to be like, because I mean, LEGO just absolutely nailed it here. The build is very accurate, the proportions are perfect, and not to mention it's very sleek. Although unfortunately, it does have the same problem that the 2008 gunship has, where it does not include 2 pilots. I mean, at least they actually included a pilot in this set, but they only included 1, so it was definitely a step in the right direction from the 2008 model, but not as far as they needed to go, because there is still 1 empty seat, where I guess you could put the clone captain in there, but that just looks kind of weird. But I mean, other than that, it's still a very good set. Making our way into 2014, which is what I think was the best year of LEGO Star Wars to date, and it was really hard to choose what I thought was the best set from this year, because after all, I think it's the best year of LEGO Star Wars, so there's lots of really good sets to choose from, but I ended up going with 75055 Imperial Star Destroyer. This set has 1,359 pieces and retailed for $130 US. And at the time of me recording this video, I think this is really the perfect play scale Star Destroyer, and I say at the time of me recording this video because I know there is a new one coming out in August later this year, and I'm recording this in May, so right now we only have 2 Star Destroyers, and I think this is the better one. The other one came out in 2006, and I mean, honestly, I don't have a whole lot to say about it. It's just a really solid looking model with a full interior and a very good minifigure lineup. If there's one thing I don't like about it, it's those bright green sprinkler shooters that sit right on the top, but other than that, it's a really good set, and I think so far the best play scale Star Destroyer we've gotten. And yes, again, I think it's better than the 2006 because I know the 2006 has a lot of fanboys. Anyways, moving on to 2015, I have 75094 Imperial Shuttle Tidarium. This set has 937 pieces and retailed for $100 US. This is without a doubt the best play scale Imperial Shuttle that LEGO has made, and it's also really the gold standard. It's the perfect size for a play scale model of this ship, and I think they did a great job with the detailing and the shaping and the proportions, and not to mention, since it's the Tidarium, which is the stolen Imperial Shuttle, so its minifigure lineup is a bunch of Rebels, which I think is really cool. Anyways, making our way into 2016, I have a Rogue One set, being 75156 Krennic's Imperial Shuttle. This set has 863 pieces and retailed for $90 US. And let me tell you, this is one of the coolest LEGO Star Wars shuttles that we have ever gotten. Its all black color scheme combined with its shaping and design just makes for a really awesome looking and menacing looking display piece. And it's not only a great display piece, it's also a great playset with full access to the interior and a really awesome minifigure lineup with Krennic and K2SO, and of course those fan favorite Death Troopers. And then continuing on to 2017, I have yet another Rogue One set, being 75172 Y-Wing Starfighter. This set has 691 pieces and retailed for $60 US, and I think this is without a doubt the best playscale Y-Wing that LEGO has ever made. The model really is flawless. I genuinely don't think they could get a playscale version any better than this, and not to mention on top of that, it has a really unique minifigure lineup with lots of random minifigures, but they're all really cool, like Admiral Radis and Moroff, and an R3 astromech droid, and of course your pilot and a stormtrooper thrown in there. Moving on into 2018, I actually have a tie for this year, being between 75211 Imperial TIE Fighter and 75218 X-Wing Starfighter. The TIE Fighter has 519 pieces and retailed for $70 US, and I think it's easily the best TIE Fighter that LEGO has ever made, and on top of that, it's based off of Solo, so it had some really awesome minifigures, including that very fan-favorited Mimban Trooper, and then the X-Wing has 731 pieces and retailed for $80, and like the TIE Fighter, I think it's the best playscale version of an X-Wing that LEGO has ever made. Its minifigure lineup isn't as good as the TIE Fighter, however, I think the model itself makes up for that. These are both just very, very good sets that I think are both the best of their respective ship. Moving on to 2019, I have the only sequel set to make this list, being 75256 Kylo Ren Shuttle. This set has 1005 pieces and retailed for $130 US, and this set really is awesome. Despite the source material not being the best, this set itself and the ship is just really cool. As we all know, the 2015 Kylo Ren Shuttle wasn't as accurate, as it was gray when it was supposed to be black, and the wings did not fold open to the proper position, they kind of folded downwards, and then 4 years later, LEGO decided to remake that ship and fix all those problems and make it how it was supposed to be, and they just did a very awesome job. It's a great looking model and an awesome playset. Moving on to 2020, this one is also kind of a no-brainer, being 75288 AT-AT. This set has 1,267 pieces and retailed for $170 US, and I'm pretty sure it's widely agreed upon that this is the best playscale model of an AT-AT that LEGO has made by a long shot. They really did do just such a great job. I don't think they could make it any better. The detail is incredible, the proportions are perfect, and it's got a great minifigure lineup. This is all around just a very good set. Moving on to 2021, I have 75316 Mandalorian Starfighter. This set has 544 pieces and retailed for $60 US, and the reason I chose this for this year is just because I really like how unique it is. Mandalorian Starfighters just look really awesome, and this was the second time that they had made one. It's got a really awesome dagger-like shape with a spinning cockpit, and it's also got a really nice colorway with the different shades of blue. That definitely does add a nice touch of vibrance to the mainly gray color palette of LEGO Star Wars sets. Now making our way into 2022, this one's yet another kind of no-brainer, and that's 75337 ATTE Walker. This set has 1,082 pieces and currently retails for $140 US. Since its release, there's been a lot of talk and a lot of controversy about this set regarding the clone troopers. However, setting them aside, I think we can all agree upon that this is the best ATTE model that LEGO has given us. It really is just great. It's super awesome on display and really fun to play with, and the minifigure lineup is really good too. Despite the clone troopers having their controversies, you do get 5 of them, including the long-awaited Phase 2 Commander Cody, and then 3 battle droids to go along with him, although to this day, I'm disappointed that we did not get a crab droid in this set. Now making our way into 2023, I have yet another tie between 75356 Executor Super Star Destroyer and 75357 Ghost and Phantom 2. The Executor has 630 pieces and currently retails for $70 US, and I think this is without a doubt the best mini-scale set LEGO has made so far. I mean, it's easily a 10 out of 10. It's a really awesome display piece, and it's also at a very good price point of only $70 for how large the set is and how many pieces it has, especially considering the fact that most mini-scale sets are pretty overpriced. And then the Ghost has 1,394 pieces and retails for $160 US, and just like the Executor, it's a very awesome model relative to its source material. Obviously, it's very detailed, and I love the white color palette along with the red and yellow thrown in there. And then on top of that, it's got a pretty solid minifigure lineup, although like you guys know, Jason Syndulla doesn't have his green hair, but other than that, it's a very good playset. And I mean, both of these sets are very good in their own respective ways, and I just had to call a tie on this one because I really couldn't choose which one I think is better. Now finally, making our way into current day 2024, at the time of me recording this video in May, there has only been about 13 sets released this year so far, but in my eyes, the best one without a doubt is 75375 Millennium Falcon. This set has 921 pieces and retails for $85 US. Now like I was just saying, mini-scale sets are usually a bit overpriced, and I think this is an example of that. I really think $80 or maybe $75 would have have worked a lot better, but price aside, the model itself is near perfect. There's like one gap right behind the cockpit that I don't really like, and that's my only gripe about this set. The rest of it literally is perfect. It absolutely blew me out of the water when I first got it in hand and built it, because when I heard the rumors, I was like, oh, just another mini scale Millennium Falcon, and we already got one in 2009. I mean, I'm sure it's not going to be anything crazy, but when I built it, it was something crazy. I was genuinely blown away by how good they were able to make this model, and I think so far it's the best set that we have gotten in 2024. Anyways guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Let me know what you think about my picks down in the comments below. If you disagree, you can go ahead and diss me. If you agree, you can go ahead and say whatever you would want. But anyways, if you're new, please consider subscribing, and if you want to check out more of my videos, you can see them on the screen right now.